Hmm. Well, that was interesting. Good morning, everybody. It tried to tell me that my thumbnail didn't want to upload after I spent all that time working on it this morning. Hey, everybody, good morning and welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show. It is a sunny and slowly warming up Wednesday morning here across mid Michigan. We are just ever so slowly working our way towards spring and getting into that sweet, sweet warm weather. And we'll launch today's poll with Are you ready for warm weather? I tell you what. Whoops, damn it. We need to start a poll, not a Q&A. A poll. Hey, sorry about that, guys. There's a learning curve, and I'm not the sharpest knife in the crayon box there. Oh, hey, all right. My test screen just went a little nuts there, just making sure. Okay, good. Audio's good. Everything's good. I hope y'all are sticking with me. Are you ready for warm weather? You'd think I'd be able to, you know, take care of something like this prior to launching the show, but it is what it is, and it's the off season. So you guys are here helping me grow, helping me learn, helping me figure things out, guys. We have a couple of sweet, sweet articles here pulled up. I was just perusing this morning while I took my morning constitutional, and this just really kind of tickled my pickle in more ways than one. As you guys, some of you might remember, I used to dabble around a little bit with AI voice work over at 11 Labs. Check out my videos back on my channel where we did some Ben Shapiro voice work and some Donald Trump voice work as well. But I also did some Sam Elliott. That's right. That is, I used to actually really enjoy that AI voice work stuff. That was very creative and fun. But what I got here for us is the USA Today was able to use their Copilot, which is Microsoft's AI. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Copilot. I personally, for emailing purposes, sometimes you got to punch things up a little bit. I myself like to use ChatGPT. Kind of a first and best dressed type situation. I have a hair tickling the outside of my nose. It's driving me nuts. And I've also used Grok periodically. Grok can be a little bit, if you're used to using a ChatGPT, there can be a slight amount of a learning curve there. But Grok can be a lot more fun. Obviously, there isn't the built-in bias that ChatGPT has. If you know, you know. But I like using AI, okay? I don't think that it's a general AI, okay? There's no, like, actual real intelligence behind it. It is a learning software where you have to tell it what to do. It's similar in how, I actually spent a lot of my years working in the robotics industry, and people are very concerned with automation and taking their jobs. Justifiably so. There are some menial tasks that automation can evolve out of for manual labor, but the thing with the robots, somebody has to tell it what to do, because as smart as we think robots are and AI is, they're only as smart as we'll use the term technician. They're only as smart as the technician programming them or maintaining them or telling them what to do, giving them their marching orders. So if you are skilled enough with AI, you can use it as a huge assistant in your everyday life. If you have a lot of emails that need to be sent, I've used it for description writing purposes to try and punch up a little bit of my descriptions on my videos here, and it's very helpful. Sometimes I hit a bit of a creative writing block and I can't come up with something really to really encapsulates what I want to feel, and we can plug it into ChatGPT, and it can spit you out some stuff, and then you can tailor it from there. You just got to be good at explaining and telling it exactly what you want. So all that to be said, I did find this it's a Wednesday. It's the last show of the week for us, probably, unless I decide to do a surprise live stream tomorrow. I do have tomorrow off. But this fun article from USA Today where they used their Copilot to do the first round of the NFL draft and seeing where it really ranked out. Now, the curious thing is, what data does it have available, because they are learning software and they don't necessarily have the most up-to-date information. So it would be interesting to know that. We'll get into it and we'll read it, and then as well as, well, it's been a week already, fellas. So you know what that means. It's time for Hat and Beer to do his mock draft 3.0. You read it in the thumbnail. The thumbnail does not lie. Man versus machine. So we will compare what the AI does to what I pick. Again, I'll be doing a Detroit Lions sitting at 28. Then we'll decide what to do from there moving forward. Hey, 3 of you guys hanging out in the chat. I appreciate it. Welcome. Feel free to vote on the poll. Are you ready for warm weather? Unless you're some of those guys like Mr. Detroit City, who's down there hanging out in sunny Florida, where it's practically paradise every single day of the year. Heads up, buddy, you do have some stormy weather coming your way, looking like it's stretching all the way from the Ohio Valley down through the Great Plains and into the southern hemisphere. There is some weather events that are coming in. Might I recommend checking out Max Velocity on YouTube for your... If I'm being honest, I've followed weather for a long time. I like watching the weather. It's fun to predict. It's actually easy to predict if you can recognize patterns. And this cat, Max Velocity on YouTube, this dude is arguably the most accurate weatherman I've ever seen in my life, and he just nails it every single day. Dude nails it and gives you a lot of information. So I might recommend walking on over to his YouTube channel and checking that out. Speaking of checking out YouTube channels, before we get into this, if you guys are feeling so keen and you're not already, please, would you walk on over to that subscribe button? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, ring that notification bell so that you are constantly up to date as to what's going on here at the Hat and Beard Show. You'll never miss out on a video upload or a live stream. We love having our live community here hanging out with us Monday through Wednesday right now, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. The chat can be a little fun, and everybody here is pretty welcoming. We do have a lot of jokes. There's a lot of jokes flying around in the chat. I think it's a good community. So please feel free, say hi, say what's up, hang out with some of the regulars. Share this video around with all your friends, guys. That is one of the major things you can do to stimulate the algorithm to help push my content out there for other people to watch and grow, help grow the channel. We are steaming right towards steaming. A hot Cleveland steamer right towards 650, almost 700 subscribers. We'd like to be able to hit that here before the draft, ideally, and then it's just a quick turnaround until we hit the 1,000 before the regular season kicks off. So share this around with all your friends, and even if it's something where you don't necessarily want to share the video on your socials, just go ahead and copy that link down on your clipboard there. It does the exact same thing for the algorithm. If you're watching this video on replay, big honk, I'm talking to you, feel free to comment down below. It's what the show's engineered for. It's what I kind of like to do is I grew up listening to a lot of sports talk radio. When I was younger, actually, that's what I wanted to be, was a sports talk radio host. Give it a good 3 hours, middle of the day type deal. I used to listen to a lot of Jim Rome, a lot of the Dan Patrick Show, even more in like a local region, huge Bill Simonson here out of Michigan. And I really wanted to be a sports talk show host growing up. So with radio kind of dying out, that's why we kind of branched out into having our own sports YouTube channel. And I don't know, about 2-3 weeks ago, I just decided to heck with it. I'm going to do my own daily live show. And I hope that you guys get the vibe that we are trying to accomplish, and that is, although yes, it is a podcast, and podcasting is the evolution of radio, we really try and give off a good radio talk show vibe here. Intro excluded from all of this, so this is just kind of what we're trying to do. Go ahead and you don't even have to watch. Just put it in the corner, listen to it like while you're doing work, while you're taking a poop, while you're cooking dinner, whatever. It is meant to be a casually listened to sports talk show. And if you feel so inclined to engage, feel free to engage. Now, finally, that is all out of the way. What are we? A good few minutes here into the... We ate some time. We got to get about 8 minutes into it. It took me 10 minutes to get through the intro. But we finally here. Everybody's hanging out. We're ready to go. You guys know what that means. It's time to go ahead and load us up a sweet Zin. Now, I know that it only says 3 ml on the container, and that is because when you buy 3 of them at a time, the clerks tend to inadvertently grab the 3 when you said like 3 of the 6 ml Coolman Zins. And I wasn't just I look, there was a line behind me. I wasn't willing to correct her. The girl was having a rough day. You know, some days you just got to take it on the chin. Now, I recommend using Zins if you are a avid smoker or vapor. I smoked for well over 10 years, and I used to smoke almost 2 packs of Newport 100s a day. So I was a hell of a hard cigarette smoker. Luckily, I met Hat and Boobs, and she encouraged me and helped me get off the cigarettes. But then I transitioned into vaping, which is well, the data is still out on vaping, whether it's better or worse for you. But I don't know, man. I started kind of just realizing that it was a toxic shit to put in your lungs, and in reality, the psychological implication of nicotine addiction is not as big as they make it out to be. It is more of a social pressure that you get from everyone telling you how hard it's going to be. The most difficult thing that I found about quitting cigarettes and vaping is the mechanical and tactile motion of moving my hand to my face with a cigarette or with a vape, and the habitual while you're driving to work, after dinner, having a cup of coffee, after certain events. There are just things that, it kind of like I still can't drive without my window being down a little bit because the sound is so embedded in my habit. But I would strongly recommend, if you guys haven't already, try and transition off of the inhalants and move more towards the Zyn. Just a personal preference. We're going to before we get into this USA Today article, I got to pop over to the chat. My guy, Mr. Detroit City. It's always warm down here in Florida. Let's go. Dude, I was just thinking about you earlier this morning. I was watching this guy named Cy or something like that. He's a home inspector. It looks like it's down in Florida, or at least down in the South. And I was thinking about you, man, outside enjoying the sunshine in a country. Damn, Mr. Detroit City, living the life. And bro, I look, I know you're working, and I'm not taking away from what you do, but I'm going to put this in air quotes. He is working, enjoying the outside in the sunshine out on a country club on the roof. Cheers to you, my man. Is it an inspection or are we doing a soft wash? Either way, my dude is making money. And that is awesome, brother. I am so happy to hear that you are down in the sunshine, living it up, dude. Enjoy it for me a little bit. As far as jobs are concerned, right now I'm going through a little bit of situations at work that is forcing me to court other employers. And deep down, I want to be my own boss. Deep down, I'd love to just be able to do this full time. And I've come to realize that if eventually I can grow my channel to where I make between $5,000 and $10,000 a month just from viewership, maybe some super chats, that type of stuff. Bag 'em and tag 'em, ancillary services, pollen season blowing off. No shit. Yo, Cody Till, what's up, brother? What's up, brother? So I'm kind of looking at getting out of where I'm at now, and it's almost serendipitous. Last year, trying to think if it was fall or late summer. So when you've worked in the industries that I've worked in for as long as I've worked in, you meet and make a tremendous amount of contacts. And one of them being my buddy, we'll just call him R for now because I don't like to dox people per se. It's not really relevant to the conversation. I worked with R. I'm 36. I'll be 37 April. So 12 years ago, I met R. We both worked at a particle acceleration research and development corporation, right? Based here in mid-Michigan. And then somehow, in some weird way, R and myself both applied for these electromechanical technician positions with a German company. Without the other one knowing that we had applied for him, and then we both got hired. I was number 3, and he was like number 6 of the techs that were hired in succession like that. Brother, I left the restaurant industry after 15 years this past year due to this. With faith, all is. Bro, are you trying to become my best friend, dude? With faith, all is possible. And that's something else. I've really become Christ pilled over the past little bit, dude. And for real, with faith and a little bit of belief in the divine, dude. God is good, man. God is good. Christ is king, and he helps us in mysterious ways. That is so awesome to hear, brother. That is so awesome to hear. But so what I was saying was we've both been 7-8 years removed from those positions, right? Fun fact, I actually still have his paring knife that he inadvertently left in the kitchen at the old plant that we worked at. When he left to pursue other opportunities, I stuck around for a little bit longer. But I still use his paring knife to cut garlic with every day at work. But now R is in a position of leadership for a company that works in the solar industry. Now, this isn't installing solar at residentials. This is actually a company that maintains large solar farms for large-scale residential operations. So we're not talking individual units and battery walls on people's roofs, which, come to find out, the solar industry doesn't really even supply you with your own battery backups, which I don't really understand. What is the fucking point if I can't charge up my cells and then just disconnect myself from the grid? That doesn't make any fucking sense at all. It seems like you're almost you're paying for the equipment, and you're paying the power company to become a cog in their wheel. Energy independence is where we're at. So if you're going to go solar, build yourself some walls, some battery walls, charge yourself up, throw yourself disconnect, and then run yourself off of your own cells. But R hit me up about last year, and he was like, "Hey man, I wouldn't ask you to change your life to come work for this company if it wasn't super, super good." Long story short, for me to take the positions that were available at the time, I would have had to relocate out of Michigan, which I'm not opposed to at all. Actually, it's something that I really would like to do. However, I didn't really have first of all, my credit score is dog shit. And we just didn't have the capital to up and relocate out of state at the time, so that kind of went away. However, almost serendipitously so, a position here locally has just opened up, and it's something that I'm considering, namely because it is an industry that I would love to get into. I'm more than qualified for the role. However, I have been out of that high end of electrical work for a few years now, so I'm a little bit rusty, and I'm a little concerned with my own abilities. On top of that, I really like doing this show in the morning here, and my hours would be a little bit more fluctuating due to the nature of the industry being out in the field. So I'd have to shift the transition period of this show to a different time slot, which is fine. And then last and not least, certainly not least, the big one. Let's see, here's the thing, fellas. I have this really, really unique ability where I cannot keep my mouth shut, and I'm a calls it like I sees it. And it gets me in trouble an awful lot. So where I'm at now, I am actually a UAW member, union steward, lead negotiator, and committee chairman for the building that I'm at currently. And that offers a lot of security and comfort for a guy like me. There has been situations where the union has had to help me out due to nonsense and tomfoolery going on by management. But at the same time, I'm also really kneecapped because I don't get the wage. I'm not earning what I could be earning, so I'm leaving money on the table. I'm leaving a better life for myself and hat and boobs on the table if I don't pursue this other job. But I don't know, man. It's just something to think about. I don't know. I'm going to kick it back over to the chat. I see a good bit of Tesla roads down from Winter Park. Not worth it if you ask me. Bush League. Tesla roofs. Tesla roofs. Gotcha. Yeah, man. Again, unless you're going to be able to build and maintain your own small individual self-sustaining power field, if you're not going to deploy your own panels, and I don't recommend putting them on the roofs. Who wants to add on to the roof? Chances are your house wasn't engineered for that added amount of weight or infrastructure on the skeleton of your house. Am I wrong for thinking about that? Entire roof systems from Tesla in Florida where hurricanes frequent fools. Oh, dude, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. That I didn't realize it was the whole roof. Now, yeah, it's a great idea if you live in fucking Montana where there's no hurricanes, right? But if you're gonna, oh my god, yeah, dude, that is dumb. Point blank, Mr. Detroit City, fools, if you ask me. I completely agree with you on there, brother. You absolutely nailed it. They go for it since they think over time, if they can guarantee enough power, they can sell back to the city of Orlando. Oh, yes, if they think overtime. I read that as overtime, like time and a half pay overtime. Yeah, and that's kind of what I've been researching on these solar farms here, is that it's an investment from the community. But it's basically up to, how much can we recoup over like a decade. And traditionally, from what I've seen, the math breaks out. They actually come out ahead. And I think it's like something like $60 billion last year just in the industry. Rich people shake my head. Just become an inspector. Use that voice to call out bullshit in the field. Make your schedule, be your own boss, man. I would love to, and that's actually, man, dude. I'm not shitting you, bro. I was genuinely hoping that you would be in the chat today, and you're at work, dude. So I don't want to take away from you trying to get your job done, man, and make your money. We all got to go get our bag, but I don't know how. I don't know how to get into inspection. Is it like a certification that I can get on my own? And then on top of that, like, how do you drum up business? Do I like try and get hooked up with like a realtor? Is it just knocking on doors, Facebook Marketplace? I don't that like, bro, I've got the work ethic and the technical know-how to get jobs done and be my own boss. It's just the back end shit that I don't know. I don't understand. Like, I don't get, obviously I can do math and accounting, but if it were to get outside of like my normal budgetary concepts of numbers, I'm lost. Look up interior what is that? Interior Nachi when you have free time. We will link up in the future, no doubt. Lions fans unite. Okay, hang on. Let me write this down. Shit, serious. 1 second, guys. All right, here we go. Interior Nachi. INTER. Nachi. Dude, I cannot fucking read. Oh my god. Is that Nachi with an I? NAC. Oh, yeah, so it'd be what? National Association of Certified Home Inspection? Ha! Yo. Yeah, was it international? No, it wouldn't be international, national. So yeah, I'm gonna assume that's National Association of. Yes, sir. Acronym. I can read. You hear that, mama? I can read. Cool, bro. Cool. I will definitely look into that, bro. Because seriously, I was like, I fucking hope Mr. Detroit City's in there, because I shit you not, dude. My shorts feed is now like full of these dudes doing home inspections, bro. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy me a drone and learn how to do drone inspections as well. Fuck the bullshit, man. Hell yeah, brother. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. You, Mr. Detroit City, my guy. You made my fucking day, dude. For real. That is awesome. That is fucking awesome. So, all right. For those of you who have been slogging through me and Mr. Detroit City, just kind of hanging out over here talking shop. Thanks for slogging through the last 22 minutes of that. Hopefully we build a nice parasocial relationship with everybody listening. But seriously, this is awesome. Got one. Oh, you got a drone too? Damn, bro. You soft wash, you inspect, you got drone. How did you get into this, dude? Like, how did you fuck, man? That's awesome. That's so awesome, dude. Man, what an awesome community we have of just fucking awesome people, dude. That's so fucking awesome. All right, let's blow through this article so we can get to the mock draft. This is coming to us from USA Today. Link in the description below. Drone with thermal, you can check penetrate. Drone with thermal, what? You just pull up in your truck, fly your drone, and leave, dude? You even got to get out, man? Yo, you don't even have to interface with the client. Shit, bro. Oh, I need to get myself into this, dude. All right. Microsoft's Copilot had Omarion Hampton, Travion Henderson, and Quinshawn Judkins come off the board in round one, while top offensive tackle Will Campbell did not. And we talked about Will Campbell yesterday, where we seen some mock drafts, the Jets fandom, really mocking Will Campbell to the Jets. And I'm a big fan of that type of maneuver, especially if you're in a situation where you have to rebuild a organization that has just been in turmoil for the past 10 plus years. When was the last time? I think the Jets are 17 years of a playoff drought. They're one of the less than spectacular franchises. It could be a front office thing. Robert Saleh, I thought, was a real good head coaching hire. I thought he had a very high ceiling, but when you're put into a bad organization, you're only as good as the people signing the checks. They sign checks, but they sign checks to the wrong guys. Aaron Rodgers being one of them. Looks like he's going to end up as the Pittsburgh Steelers because Russ Wilson just yesterday. And this is going to impact this mock draft, I assume. Russ Wilson signed with the New York Giants, so they're going to roll with a Russ Wilson and Jameis, famous Jameis. He plays like an anus Winston, and so I don't know if we'll see a quarterback when draft day actually comes go to the New York Giants, especially Brian Dable probably being on the hot seat. Are we going to, if they take a quarterback this year, then the Giants are just going to run into where the Bears have been for the past 3 cycles now, Trubisky, Fields, and now Caleb Williams, where they, on the last year of a head coach before they're fired, they draft a rookie quarterback. The rookie quarterback then goes through a rough transition year period as the coaching staff changes, schemes change, and ultimately they don't end up reaching their ceiling. I'm not saying Mitch Trubisky had an overly high ceiling, and I don't think Justin Fields was ever really going to be what people wanted him to be, and that would have been the second coming of Michael Vick. Though I do like, speaking of Justin Fields, that Aaron Glenn, who has experience coaching against him and knows his flaws and how to exploit them, landing Justin Fields to the Jets is probably the best situation for Justin Fields because, again, a coach with familiarity that knows how to take advantage of his weaknesses is going to be able to try and help put coaches in position to tailor and tweak those shortcomings, as well as then you're not having your quarterback exposed to a successful defense, not exposing his weaknesses to the rest of the NFL. But I do think Will Campbell is probably the better tackle. And I know he's getting a lot of flack for his short arms. But, the way he breaks down the metrics, the physicality of the guy, I like what I see. So let's go ahead and get into this. They're going to tell us here what we did here. The 2025 NFL Draft is rapidly approaching, and mock drafts are becoming far more common as that happens. We're going to do one later today, or later this morning. Plenty of NFL analysts and draft nicks have been working hard to form opinions about top prospects in the draft, where they may fit best at the next level. Even so, mocking the draft is often a fruitless endeavor, as no one out-of-order pick or big surprise like Michael Penix Jr. to the Atlanta Falcons can destroy the mock draft, even the most studious of analysts. Excuse me. That's why USA Today Sports used Microsoft Copilot AI chatbot, and a little ad plug there, to predict the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft ahead of the festivities in Green Bay. It's a worthwhile exercise to see whether relatively new AI tools can mock the NFL Draft with any sort of accuracy. Copilot wasn't quite up to the task of creating an entire first-round mock draft by itself. That's true. Once you start to get into longer type deals with AI, I find that for short, concise, do this, do that, they work really, really well. But once you start to kind of get out in the weeds, you have to be really good at AI prompts through the entire situation. Literally line by line, you have to tell it exactly what to do to keep it on track. And even then, it can kind of get out in the weeds a little bit. It was able to mock the top 10 selections. Still, after that, it kept struggling to stick with the draft order while also including several players from the 2024 NFL Draft. As much as the Dallas Cowboys might like to draft Malik Nabers in 2025, that simply isn't allowed. As much, the chatbot was prompted after the 10th selection for mock draft selections on a pick-by-pick basis. So they literally had to go line by line and tell them exactly the prompt to do. So here is the 32-team AI mock draft that USA Today got using Copilot. Number 1, we see Cam Ward going to the Tennessee Titans. Number 2, Abdul Carter, edge out of Penn State, going to the Cleveland Browns. The Giants going to go and grab Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado. Again, this is before we see here. Finally addressed the quarterback situation with Jameis plays like an Anus Winston and Tommy DeVito are the only quarterbacks present. That is not accurate anymore, as Russ Wilson is now a New York Football Giant. Let's ride. The Patriots, they got the Patriots taking Travis Hunter out of Colorado. I think that's a good pick right there. The Jags are going to, according to the AI, pick up Mason Graham, the big defensive tackle out of Michigan. The Raiders going to go ahead and go after Ashton Genty out of Boise State. This is all very... I don't see much out of line of what we've been seeing a lot of. I think Ashton Genty is a good fit right at Vegas at 6. The New York Jets this is where it gets shaken up a little bit. Ahmad Membou, the big offensive tackle out of Missouri. Membou has been gaining steam throughout the draft process, but it isn't yet clear whether he will go ahead of Will Campbell, who has arm length concerns. Bullshit. Copilot is planting its flag on the Membou Hill, calling him a cornerstone of the Jets' offensive line. Possibly. This represents the AI's first warm take, but it's hard to argue that Membou's fit with the Jets, who need an upgrade at right tackle. Is this the way that they go? Is Will Campbell's short arms really going to cause him to drop out of potentially the first round? I don't think so. Carolina Panthers going to go after Tet McMillan. He's a big-bodied wide receiver at 6'5". This is a big change because we've seen a lot of people at number 8 with the Panthers going to a defensive player, but possibly trying to add weapons for their young and developing franchise quarterback. At number 9, the New Orleans Saints are going after tight end Tyler Warren out of Penn State. The co-pilot called him a do-it-all tight end. I don't believe in taking tight ends in the first round, especially not in the top 10. Rounding out the top 10, Chicago Bears going after Jalen Walker, the linebacker edge out of Georgia. This is making the Bears defense on paper even better, and they continue to win the NFL offseason. At number 11, the San Francisco 49ers going to bolster the defensive backfield with Will Johnson, the corner out of Michigan. You see a lot of Michigan players going in the first round. The Dallas Cowboys taking Calvin Banks Jr., the tackle, staying right there in Texas, going to go to the Dallas Cowboys. They do need to rebuild through the draft, as their salary cap situation does not allow them to go after many players and bag big-name guys. That's why we see one-year contracts to like Jack Sanborn for $1.5 million. That's not taken away from Jack Sanborn. That's just simply saying that, you know, there's not a lot of money to be made. You got a lot of money tied up in Dak and CD and then Micah Parsons. It's going to be an expensive situation for the Dallas Cowboys to maneuver over the next 3 years. Miami Dolphins going to go after wide receiver Matthew Golden out of Texas. He fits the profile of what the Dolphins like in their receivers. He ran the fastest 40-yard dash. So they're, according to this, I would look like you're trying to figure out what to do post Tyreek Hill in Miami. Number 14, the new Indianapolis Colts going after Nick Emanowari, the safety out of South Carolina, who jumped out of the fucking building at the combine. Dude had an absolute workout, and because of he's going to be one of those guys who maybe wasn't one of the top safeties coming into the draft, maybe a 3rd or 4th overall safety, but because of his insane combine that he ended up having, you're going to see him climb up into the first round. And you see here he's going to the Indianapolis Colts at 14. I think he's the first safety off the board, according to the AI. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is a workout warrior right there. 15, Atlanta going to go with Donovan Jackson, the big guard out of Ohio State. I wouldn't mind him falling to Detroit at 28. The Cardinals, Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle out of Ole Miss.
From electricity to
what the
internet,
hell?
Invisible forces power our world.
No, stop.
And AI is next.
Stop. What the
Working
hell?
in ways-
Ugh, that was weird. I didn't like that. Sorry about that. I didn't like that. 17, the Bengals, Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan, going before the Chargers can get him. Seattle at 18, going to go after Malachi Starks with their big defensive rebuild going on with their defensive-minded head coach. Tampa, Bay Buccaneers, or the Tampa Buccaneers, or the Buccaneers who only buccaneer in the Bay of Tampa, since there is no Tampa Bay. There is a bay in Tampa, Florida, and they are the Buccaneers of the Bay. I don't know how often I can continue to reiterate that, but they're going after a wide receiver, probably looking as, even though they returned Chris Godwin from injury last year, which Tampa played really, really well despite losing Chris Godwin. You know, they still, Baker Mayfield, Talk about a career resurgence. My guy, Baker Mayfield. I've slowly become a big Baker Mayfield fan over the years. And going with the wide receiver out of Ohio State, he's a polished receiver to boost their offense and an potential eventual successor to Mike Evans, who have always off the Gulf of America. Looking at the chat, Mr. Detroit City, that's right. The Tampa, Bay Buccaneers troll about in the Gulf of America, which I fucking love that they call it the Gulf of America. I don't know if you guys can really tell, but I'm kind of a pro-America guy over here. And, you know, it didn't say the Gulf of the United States. It said Gulf of America, and these are the Americas, right? Doesn't that make more fucking sense? Oh, and what I was saying about Mike Evans is I actually, years ago, wanted him to be the Calvin Johnson successor. I was really bummed out. At 20, the Broncos are going to go after James Pierce Jr., the edge that everybody's real high on out of Tennessee, and that would give the Broncos just a terrifying edge rushing presence. Steelers going to grab Jahad Campbell, another linebacker that I liked. I think the Lions actually interviewed, and this is, you know, if this were to sit true, probably a good spot, or I could see Pittsburgh taking a flyer, possibly trading back and going after a Jackson Dart, though I don't think they're going to make that mistake again. Unfortunately, it's looking like their quarterback's going to be Aaron Rodgers more than likely. Excuse me. The Chargers this is an interesting little run here on running backs. We've gone from an era where running backs were first-round picks off the board, bam, 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 to running backs not going in the first round at all, to now, thanks to the success of Bijan Robinson, and more so the success of Jahmyr Gibbs, who isn't even the lead back, we are now starting to see an importance on getting a first-round running back, utilizing every single advantage that they have, especially in the youth of their career. The Chargers going to go after Omaron Hampton, the running back out of North Carolina, to probably end up usurping Najee Harris, as Najee Harris's career hasn't necessarily been the greatest. The Packers going after Travion Henderson, the running back out of Ohio State, and they actually make the comparison Copilot as Packers taking a page out of the Lions playbook and adding an explosive running back to pair with a 3-down starter. Minnesota Vikings, Quinshon Judkins out of Ohio State, so you had 3 running backs in succession. Texans going after Luther Burden. They need more wide receiver help down there. The Rams end up taking Kenneth Grant, the big defensive tackle out of Michigan, since their tight end and running backs, or the tight ends that we've seen mocked a lot to them, are all off the board. Kenneth Grant ends up sliding down to the Rams at 26. Baltimore Ravens taking Tyler Booker, the big guard out of Alabama. Need a little bit of bolstering down there, as Ronnie Stanley has stayed, but not getting any younger. They lost Kevin Zeitler a year ago, so they need to start kind of preparing for the future. The Lions, they got us taking Benjamin Morrison, the corner out of Notre Dame. I don't like this at all. The Lions spent the first-round pick on cornerback Terrion Arnold. Could they do it again? Co-pilot credits us more than having excellent ball skills. That said, Detroit's DJ Reed free agency play across from Arnold still has the 22nd pick, or Enos Rakestraw Jr. That can encourage the Lions to look elsewhere on defense. Completely agree. And we're just going to run through the last of them here real quick. The Commies going after Princely Umanamali Yalini. Buffalo taking Derek Harmon, who, if he's still available at 28, I think Derek Harmon goes to the Lions instead of Benjamin Morrison. Kansas City Chiefs, Josh Cornley Jr., the tackle out of Oregon. Yeah, and this is basically, here's more confirmation that co-pilot forgot Will Campbell. If Campbell is still there at 30, someone in the early part of the draft is trading up to get him in the back end of the first round. And then the Eagles are going to take Alfred Collins, the defensive tackle out of Texas. Now, this is all just AI powered, right? This is all AI powered. So this is just a little interesting article to kind of think ourselves and just use for some food for thought as to what AI, what the robot, what Skynet thinks is going to happen. You can take that or leave that. So we got just a few minutes here. We are going to kind of fly through this mock draft real quick. So we're going to walk on over to profootballnetwork.com/mock draft. Looking at the chat, Cody Till. AI is everywhere. Yes, it is, including the Hat and Beard Show. Appreciate the chat, bro. Appreciate the chat and everyone hanging out in it. This is awesome. So we are going to be the Detroit Lions. We're sitting at 28. We're going to do all 7 rounds, and we're going to go fast. We're not going to review the draft as we go along. We're just going to move right along because I get hung up with analysis paralysis. Holy crap. We will go back and look at the first few picks. I love all the trades. Hang on. Hide that. I want to see who went first overall. Abdul Carter, Cam Ward, Will Campbell. Wow. Membu, okay, makes sense. Shamar Stewart. Damn, so we haven't seen. Okay, Ward went to the Brownies. Shador Sanders to the Jets, huh? Travis Hunter to the Vegas Raiders. Will Johnson, Mason Graham, Ashton Genty. Who was that talking about Ashton Genty going to the fucking Bears the other day? Ugh. I would hate that so fucking much, dude. I would hate that so much. So here we go, all the way down here, 28. We got some guys, some dudes, and some guys, and some dudes. Oh, there's my guy, Mike Green. Let's go ahead and field some. They want to move up one. No, I'm not going to trade back. These are the only two offers I got. All right, well, so I'm going to just go ahead and let Washington move one pick ahead of me. I'm going to grab a third round in next year's draft. Okay, let's go ahead and minimize this. And the commies took Shavon Revel. I was not interested in him at all. I'm not mad about that. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. No. All right, so we're going to be dancing partners with the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to continue to amass future picks for next year's draft, knowing that the Detroit Lions are going to need to start re-signing our big money players and allocating more assets to get rookie scale contracts to be able to allow money moves to be made to retain Hutch, to retain Kirby Joseph, Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Brian Branch, maybe JMO, Sam Laporta. So we're going to go ahead and trade 2 spots back because there's still plenty of players that are high on my board here, and we're going to now walk into next year's draft with 3 picks in the third round. Do we take all 3 picks in the third round next year? Probably not, knowing Brad Holmes. He uses these picks that we just amassed next year to move up in the draft this year, hypothetically. So we're going to go ahead and move back 1. And was that the only offer? It was from the that's 9 spots. That's way too many spots. But that would give us back-to-back picks in the second round. The Saints, we've seen this. We've traded back to the 40th spot with the Saints. And I'm not even going to entertain the Chefs again. I am interested about the New Orleans Saints. Let's go ahead and minimize this. That'd be trading back 9 spots, moving up in the second round, as well as moving out of one of the third-round picks, looks like. Who's on the board here? We got plenty of guys. But that's 9 spots, right? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, Mike Green went right ahead of me at 30. Damn it. Okay, well, that's fine. That is totally fine. All right, let's go ahead and field these offers, trade offers. God, I love this move back to 40, though. Nope. You know what? We're just going to sit here at 31. We've already gotten too many picks for the future. So sitting at 30. What do I do here sitting at the 30th overall pick? My defensive ends are all gone. I'm not going safety. Do I go defensive? So do I go Kenneth Grant or guard Donovan Jackson? Oh, man. Oh, man. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to apply the logic that Brad Holmes would normally apply, and we're going to come down and we're going to go on the offensive line. And it comes down to 2 guys. Do I want Gray Zabel? Gray Zabel is a versatile lineman with the ability to play just about anywhere along the offensive line, but likely projects best as an interior player in the NFL. With the thin center class in 2025 NFL Draft, as well as Zabel's accurate snaps at the Senior Bowl, he could project best at the center in this particular class. Zabel is a powerful offensive lineman who generates serious push as a blocker on the move. He applies take no prisoners mentality when he locks up at the point of attack. As a shorter-armed blocker, oh no, short arms! Oh God, Will Campbell and his short arms, who needs to work on his knee bend. Zabel could face some limitations at the NFL, particularly in his rookie year. Ideally, keeping him at center limits how much area he has to block and neutralize his lack of blocking range. There's a guy you can groom, you can prep, and you can get ready to replace Oh, Frank Ragnow. Donovan Jackson's our other option. Donovan Jackson is poised to be at the top interior offensive lineman in the 2025 NFL Draft, showcasing an impressive resume at Ohio State. At 6'4", 320 pounds, he combines sharp intelligence, explosive mobility, and a powerful strength. With solid athleticism and punchy hands, Jackson has all the tools to become a long-term force in the NFL at offensive line. Shit the bed. That is also a really good comparison. Well, we've seen people taking Donovan Jackson to the Detroit Lions, so let's be contrarian. And we're going to take Gray Zabel, knowing that he can play as a reservist and a starter and ultimate replacement for Frank Ragnow. Say Frank Ragnow retires at the end of the year. So we're going to take Gray Zabel. Bam. Doesn't he seem like a Dan Campbell guy? Seems like a Dan Campbell guy. Shit, I just seen my guys go off the board. Excuse me. We're going to go ahead and just stop trading around. So here we are. And Landon Jackson, those who I was hoping would fall to us at our second pick. What do we do here? Well, probably going to go Deion Walker. Why not? Let's go ahead and read Walker's information. A simply massive individual. What is he? 6'7", 330 pounds. Holy shit. With length, size, and power that makes him a massive block one-on-one. If your opposing offensive lineman fail to block him with proper technique, he's going to out-physically. Yeah, this guy is... I remember reading about Deion Walker. So we're going to go ahead and use our second pick on Sean Rogers Jr. and hope that we get all the upside of Sean Rogers and none of the downside. Bam. So here we are. We got our third round pick, our compensatory pick for Aaron Glenn being hired as the head coach of the New York Jets. What's going on? Why can't I scroll? What the hell's happening? Oh, great. Well, it froze. Excellent. Fucking awesome. That is awesome. That is so awesome. Nothing. I'm getting nothing. Okay. Oh. You know what, fellas? This mock draft ain't going to work. This mock draft ain't going to work. This mock draft ain't going to work. So let's watch a video. Oh, is it really 20 minutes? Do I have 20 minutes? Oh, damn, that was a good video about Marcus Lattimore. So this is this dude, Flemlo Raps. 20 minutes. Do we got 20 minutes? Do I want to? Yeah, shit happens, dude. I know. Shit happens. It's not that deep. You know, let's watch a little bit of this Flemlo Raps video and review it. This is, I think he really summed up. We'll watch a few minutes of this. The dude's a Cincinnati Bengals fan. He does a ton of content. I'm really impressed with what Flemlo does. He's reinvented himself a couple times on YouTube. So let's just go ahead and watch this Flemlo Raps video.
NFL receivers.
This is titled "The Real Reason T. Higgins Turned Down Millions." This is a great video. This is an absolutely banger of a video.
T. Higgins just signed their second NFL contracts together. If both aren't willing to sacrifice in different ways, then this doesn't happen and the core gets broken up. Through society's eyes, T. Higgins sacrificed the most. But fortunately for Bengals fans, T's his own man.
Hell yeah.
He didn't bend to the pressures of society. He instead did what he felt was best for him.
Yo, the T. Higgins, this is such a cool story, you guys. T. Higgins, dude.
What
a guy.
Less than max money was the biggest sacrifice for T. But the world's greed and selfishness has not only become widely accepted, but even praised most of the time. We often applaud people for solely pursuing the maximum payout, regardless to the circumstance, because most of us are ducking and hiding and waiting for any opportunity to do
get
the same
ours.
thing.
Yep, exactly, dude, to get ours. Everyone else, the reason why, T. Higgins is going to take down all. I thought T. Higgins was going to get paid. I mean, he did get paid. Don't misunderstand. I mean, he got paid. But we all thought he was going to get max deal, possibly super high market value to go someplace else. I thought maybe the Pats were going to be interested in him, but he just stayed in Cincinnati, and there's a reason for that, and he explains it. Check this out.
And I can't imagine it's going to be T. Higgins who's like, you know what? Okay, I'll take a hometown discount to stay here and make less than I think I'm.
And yet she has a job, makes a shitload of money talking about sports.
Worth when I can go to another team in the NFL who's going to pay me like a number one receiver. See ya, Cincinnati.
Yeah, the phrase that stands out to me there is finding a deal that works for everybody. Works for everybody.
And yet they did.
When you're the top receiver going into free agency and you are still solidly in your prime, you're not looking for a deal that works for everybody. You're looking for a deal that works for you and you alone and pays you an exorbitant amount of money.
In yesterday's NFL, but in today's NFL, hey, I'm chasing Chase. What's up, brother? Hey, hell yeah. Welcome in, dude. We're kind of just on the back end of the show watching a little bit about T. Higgins and a brotherly bond that was built between him and Jamar Chase and how this is like what's going on in Cincinnati, even though Cincinnati is a shitbox of an organization, just the way that these two guys were able to come together, the maturity of T. Higgins and the camaraderie these two built. It's a really unique story that we're watching here from this guy Flemlo Raps.
Some people actually value things higher than money. They value things over being considered number one. Did you know T. Higgins fired the best agent in the NFL? At least when it comes to getting players the most money possible.
How crazy is that? Dude fires his agent, the top money agent in the middle of negotiations because they're interested in the line. One guy was in it for himself. One guy was in it for himself for more than just money reasons.
He fired that agent because their values didn't align. And insanely
no shit, dude. No shit. I'm chasing Chase in the chat. Says his mom is from Cincinnati, so he knows all about it. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Oh man, so you got all cats in your family, Bengals fans and Lions fans. Man, that's wild, dude. I actually like Joe Burrow and I like T. Higgins. Jamar Chase, I could take him or leave him only because he was in the same draft class is Amon-Ra.
Highly respectable move that didn't get talked about nearly enough. Bro, imagine going into a season playing on a franchise tag as a highly sought after wide receiver one, and then walking away from the agent who negotiated many of the largest deals in NFL history. The guy who got Deshaun Watson a record-breaking $230 million contract that was fully guaranteed, unheard of in the league. And he did that while Watson was sinking into probably the largest scandal in recent league history. So imagine the type of deal that agent could negotiate for a guy like T, who is universally loved and respected and considered to be the top receiver in his free agent class. If you're T, why not hit the open market and get the most that you could with the...
Over here in the chat, it gets pretty heated during football season because it's pride with a single tie. Hey, but at least she's going into the den and defending herself, right?
Agent that could negotiate the most money possible. Maybe there's a certain point when you have enough money and you decide to trade some of it for true brotherhood. People love to say there are things money...
Just run that back. Listen to this. Just listen to this. This is something that some people do need to realize.
Maybe there's a certain point when you have enough money and you decide to trade some of it for true brotherhood. People love to say there are things money just can't buy. But when you think about it, this isn't entirely true. There's points in our lives when we'll all be faced with the choice to pursue more money or to cultivate better relationships with our kids, spouse, family, friends, or ourselves.
He didn't want to go on tour big. I showed him a layout. We could have went on tour, me, M, Dre, Snoop.
Imagine that.
What would that?
Oh my gosh.
Make that happen, please.
You do not believe how much money.
I know, bro.
And was like, there was so many dates at the time, the way they laid it out, that he was like, I just don't want to go on tour and come back. And Haley's grown.
By turning down that money, M essentially paid for moments like this with his daughter. T. Higgins just bought friendship with the extra money that he could have made on the open market. So you can't pay for friendship to go from...
It's such a fucking awesome story. And this is like... So I don't know what it's like for other team sports. I played ball growing up and I ran track, right? Track's not really team mentality per se. I mean, I didn't run track. I threw shot put and discus, right? But this is one thing that I can tell you, like, the bond dudes build playing on a team together, at least at the level that I played at. So I can't speak to the pros, but seems like a real unique thing. But there is a certain bond that guys build that money just can't really come between. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing to something. But dog, there's 1 or 2 chances in every person's life where friendship/brotherhood goes up for sale. So basically, you can pay for it then or just pay the price for not having it later. T. Higgins grew up as a Bengals fan, as AJ Green was his favorite player.
How awesome would it be to grow up a fan of the team and then play alongside your favorite player for what was it, 1 year, 2 years? Look at T. Higgins in his early years, and there's AJ Green.
He's built a home in Cincinnati, bro, and to him, that's more important than the maximum money he can get. Now, real quick, let me slow down to make sure y'all following me. There's a certain amount of money that you need to survive on this planet, bro. Without it, you're done. Then there's another number you need to reach to live a fulfilling life, where you're not working a job you hate just to barely scrape by. I'm not saying friendship should come before taking care of your family. Nothing I talk about in these videos suggests I believe that. But if you don't watch my videos or you're just not catching the context, I want to slow it down and be very clear what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that people who watch this channel, along with the man who writes every word, speaks every word, edits every second of every video. So
I get it. I feel you.
Y'all and me, by implementing the things that we talk about on this channel, we will eventually reach a point of success where we have enough money to take care of our families and live the life we want to live. But when we reach that point, we're gonna have to make some choices to remain committed to chasing after more and more profit, or to realize that now we can shift some of that energy away from financial pursuits and towards the things that we said we wanted more of when we first started the financial pursuit. A lot of people say,
isn't that what the financial pursuit is all for? So that we can do more of what we want of once we have the funding?
They want one thing and they start chasing finances in order to achieve whatever that thing is, but then they get caught up in the money rat race. When they finally get the money and they finally get the freedom and they finally have the time to spend over here, they forget why they wanted the bread so bad in the first place and just get caught in the trap of chasing more and more dollars.
You lose the forest for the trees, man.
Not even saying that avoiding this is easy, but it will be easier if you're aware of it going into the process and understanding and believing that at some point, bro, I'm gonna get there. And when I do, I know what to look out for. So, T wanted to stay in Cincinnati.
You got to know your goals, right? You got to know what you're going after. And once you attain it, don't just keep chasing. Sit there for a minute, think about it, think what you need.
His agent wanted to break another contract record. Given the situation, those two goals could not coexist. Something had to give. Now, Jamar Chase is a top 2 receiver in the league, the Triple Crown winner from just a year ago. When T isn't in the lineup, Chase gets even more targets and opportunities to showcase his elite status. At LSU, he shared the spotlight with Justin Jefferson, and now in Cincy, he has to share the spotlight with T. A more selfish player might want to do it on his own, just to prove he's the best and see what kind of numbers he can put up. Don't get me wrong, Chase obviously...
Yeah, some players would. But some players are also like, fuck it, dude. I got my life on easy street with that guy on the other side of the lineup from me, right? Just think of like, yeah, you do see his numbers go up, but he's got to do more. With this, it's like, I'm not saying he's lazy, but it's like, shit, man, you don't have to be the focal point of the entire offense every single fucking day. You can know that maybe that play ain't supposed to go your way because the other guy is so fucking good that he's going to be there, right?
He wants to put up numbers. But while he has his individual goals, his team goals are clearly even more important.
From 31 yards. Cincinnati is heading to the Super Bowl. We did it! We did it!
Damn, year 1. Oh my God. I'm glad I stopped crying before all those interviews, bro.
It's this attitude and approach that allowed him and T to become not just teammates, but brothers for real. Sometimes you get back the energy that you put out, especially when you're the one with the higher status. Bengals wide receiver coach Troy Walters.
Oh, this is a cool
been
part.
there
Check this
for
out.
every
Check this out.
NFL snap
this
of
out.
this wide receiver duo. Every NFL route that they've ever run was done under the watchful eye of Troy Walters.
Just listen to the guys this dude played with, and this wide receivers coach has got the insight. Yo, just listen.
Walters has experience as a player and coach, and he's fully gained the trust and respect of these two young stars. 25 years ago, Troy Walters was drafted by the Vikings, where he witnessed the brotherhood between Randy Moss and Chris Carter. When asked about that duo, he turned back the clock, thought about it for a second, and here's what he said. That was more like big brother, little brother. You know what I'm saying? Tough love. They were fine with each other, but the thing was, they were just at different stages in their lives and careers.
That's what happens when you draft a young guy to play with the old guy. Their headspaces are in drastically different spots because not only are they different stages of their lives, but also their careers.
Later, Troy played with another great receiver duo, Marvin Harrison.
Talk about some duos to play with, yo. He played with Chris Carter and Randy. He was drafted to play with Chris Carter and Randy Moss, and then later on played with Reggie Wayne and Marvin, the criminal Harrison.
And Reggie Wayne. When asked about that duo, he thought back once again, refreshed those memories, then here's what he said. Marv was just a quiet introvert. They liked each other. There was no animosity, but they was just different. It wasn't like, we're gonna travel the world together. So basically he said Chris Carter and Randy Moss, there was a mutual respect, but it was big brother, little brother. Then Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne, there was no beef, but they also wasn't like best friends. But when Troy was asked about his time coaching Chase and T, and asked how two #1 caliber guys could coexist on the same damn team with zero issues, here's what he
Real
said.
quick, just check it out. Wide receiver from back in the day, wide receivers in modern day. Not big-bodied wide receivers either. Wide receiver back in the day, wide receivers nowadays.
Very unique. Very unique. They're like family. I mean, they're really like true brothers and family. For each of them to be #1 caliber receivers and not have any egos, I've never seen them in the 4 years they've been together have any animosity or jealousy. Even with all the experience he had playing with duos and seeing it up close, when it came to T and Chase, he said they're special. Now, Chase was always gonna get paid by the Bengals, but T wasn't always included in those long-term plans.
Look at this.
But when T
They both ended up signing. Like, T left his agent because they weren't on the same wavelength as what T wanted. Then he turns around and signs with Jamar's agent.
T. Higgins fired the best agent in the league, he didn't do so without another plan in place. Him and Jamar came up with a bulletproof plan. T agreed to sign with Jamar's agent, Rocky Arsenal. The receivers united under the same representation and told the Bengals if they wanted to sign one, they had to sign both.
Look at that money.
After some back and forth, in the end, both players secured their deals and broke records in different ways. Jamar Chase became the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, while T became not only the highest paid #2, but also a top 10 highest paid wide receiver overall. So that means
it will be interesting to see if this works for the Bengals because they are just ignoring defense entirely, spending all their money on their big-bodied their big play wide receivers and quarterback. They got a lot of money tied up in their wide receivers and quarterback.
T's making more yearly than 24 #1 wide receivers. He still has Chase on the other side to free him up from double teams, and of course, he still got Joey B, the league leader in passing yards and passing touchdowns. And he's still a part of the most pass-heavy offense in the league. Now for Chase, he still got someone to draw attention on the other side. He has somebody to force teams to pick their spots when it comes to deploying double coverage. Chase has a #1 as his #2, making it way harder to game plan against Chase.
Isn't that what I said?
He can play out wide, he can move in the slot.
It's almost like we all see what's going on. If you know, you know.
Or in the backfield, and the defense still has to play honest. Because if you don't, then T is gonna go off. And lastly, Chase has somebody that gives him the best chance to reach his team goal of winning the Super Bowl. And they both have a brother that they've gone to war with,
Team
love
mentality,
playing
baby.
with, and know they can trust. Not to mention they get to stay with their other brother, with whom Chase formed a bond with playing at LSU, and T formed a bond with in the NFL since they were drafted with back-to-back picks and played a full season together before Chase entered the league. So Jamar Chase and T Higgins are rediscovering the lost art of true brotherhood. This point in the video is when I kind of take this in and reinterpret it to sort out my own ideas. So basically, dog, it's time to get personal. When I woke up this morning, I sat down in front of my computer screen, just letting my mind work. I was looking at this picture. I sipped a hot cup of coffee with oat milk and honey, and ate something that I had left over from last night. The mood was perfect for creating, but I was missing one thing. I need a little soundtrack to really get me in. So I just flipped through Epidemic Sounds, and when I came to this track, everything fell into place. Then I started to write something that didn't really seem all that related to this image. It's almost like the image was more the backdrop to what I wrote. A theme that unlocked thoughts that I ain't know I wanted to
That is
speak
a
on.
crazy
I ain't
cool
think about
picture.
structure, a hook, a YouTube format. The words just came out automatically. I don't always post these types of more personal writings, but today I decided to share it, bro. And this is what I wrote. So I'm kind of the lone wolf type. It's been a crazy
All right. This part really fucking hits home for me. This part really, I'm going to rewind it a couple seconds. This part really hits home. I related to this. Let me know if you feel this.
came out automatically. I don't always post these types of more personal writings, but today I decided to share it, bro. And
Okay,
this
here
is
you go.
what I
Check
wrote.
this out.
So I'm kind of the lone wolf type. Spend a crazy amount of my time alone, either in complete solitude or out walking the neighborhood by myself, let my mind just do its
thing,
This
man.
is when my thoughts are the clearest and my next moves become obvious to me. Without expectations of anybody to shape my thoughts, it's easier for me to connect my mind with my soul. In these times, I don't feel doubt. I feel like I could accomplish anything. I feel pulled by some greater purpose. But I'm 37 years old and I'm in a grind period of my life. I'm chasing mastery of skills that will build a path to the exact life that I want. Now, as much as I love all my time alone, the life I want to build includes large pockets of time that are allotted for friends and family. I prefer to do these after I've had enough alone time,
Enough
because
time.
then I'm full.
Yeah, dude.
And I could be a lot more present when I'm interacting with friends and family. I want to be able to go chill at my childhood home for a couple weeks without worrying about falling behind on deadlines. Because now when I go, I know when I come back, I'm going to be super swamped with work.
God, that's what I hate about like whenever I take time off of work. It's like, yeah, you can enjoy it for the time you're gone, but you know that when you come back, you're just gonna get just dog fucked on the back end.
Just trying to catch up. That said, the idea of wanting to build a life that allows for more free time is a dangerous proposition. It's easy to put your head down, grinding for something, and then you look up and a decade has passed. I was always really quiet and reserved my whole life. I'd probably only say about 10% of what I'm thinking. So in that way, I guess it makes sense that I spend so much time alone. Because in my head, I've kind of always felt
been
alone.
there.
When
Yeah.
you don't see things the way most people do, it can be a lonely feeling even when you're surrounded by people. Because you're only presenting like 10% of yourself and then hiding the other 90% in the
Fucking
corner.
true,
Maybe you believe the
dude.
universe created itself. Or maybe you believe that there's a higher power. I believe God creates us as unique individuals and creates a path for us to get exactly what we need. I think that's why a dude
Preach,
like
brother.
me, who's
Oh,
always
yeah.
felt alone in his head, was in reality surrounded by love at every stage. My family always loved me deeply. My little
yeah,
brother
dude.
looked up to me, even though at times I didn't think that I deserved it. My big sister was proud of me when I felt I wasn't good enough. And while my dad and I never had a lot of deep conversations, I know you're proud of me, you know what I'm saying? I could feel it when we do talk. Now, my mom is the strongest person that I ever met. She said the
Over at the chat, I preach on that, brother. Never alone with God and Jesus Christ. When you realize that whether in your 20s, 30s, or 60s, you are never alone. That is true. That is very fucking true. And that's something, you know, in my later years here, I've started to realize how important, you know, God and Jesus are, man. Hard for people to admit and realize we don't have to walk any road alone. It's just because, man, society has just beaten people over the head with just anti-religious stuff that they make you seem crazy, dude. But like, I can tell you that like when you let God in, dude, life gets a lot better. You get this warm sensation in your life and knowing that like there is something else bigger than yourself out there, that it's I don't know, man. It's hard to really explain, but like, no, dude, if you open your heart to him, man, you know, you'll never be alone, dude.
Standard for my expectations of all other humans, including myself. She always did what she said, practiced what she preached. I hope that one day I can live up to the example.
Oh shit! I wanted this part hit.
Expectations of all. I can feel it when we do talk.
All right.
Now my mom is the strongest.
Check this out. This is for real. This dude said, first time I watched this, I was like, damn. Yo, this is how I feel about my mom.
Conversations. I know you're proud of me, you know what I'm saying? I can feel it when we do talk. Now, my mom is the strongest person that I ever met. She set the standard for my expectations of all other humans, including myself. She always did what she said, practiced what she preached. I hope that one day I can live up to the example that she set. So again, I was always loved and never truly alone. And I've always known that and felt alone at the same time. The only thing that isolated me and made me feel like,
and that's what, like, I fucking, like, I completely agree with him on there. It's like, I've always felt alone, but I've never been alone. My family's always supported me in everything I've ever wanted to do, no matter how fucking stupid it was. But it's just like, it's, even though they're there, you just feel this weird disconnect. Not from them, but just from everyone else around there. Because you just, when you're looking at life through such a different fucking lens than everybody else, you feel, I don't know, not normal sometimes, man.
It's primarily the way I've always thought about life. Things always seem to make so much sense to me. But when I spoke my opinion around peers or adults,
people look at you like you're fucking speaking Mandarin.
It was laughed off or treated like esoteric bullshit. One example was during my senior year of high school. Me and my classmates chilling, talking shit, cracking jokes, and somebody would say something kind of like, bruh, I can't wait to graduate and get the hell up out of here. Others would agree, hell yeah, I can't wait. And I'd be sitting there thinking like, bro, y'all tripping. I remember saying something like, dawg, we got it made right now. Our lives will never be easier than they are at this moment. Think about it, bruh.
Bet. And that's why everybody hits rose-tinted glasses when they look back on the youths in school and stuff, is because for real, you didn't have it any better than you did right then. Your life is, every single day is mapped out, planned out. All you got to do is show up. Don't even have to really apply yourself. You just got to show up.
When you was 5 years old, life was a hell of a lot easier than it is at 17. Look how stressed out all the adults always are. What the hell makes you think that shit is easy? This is fun. Enjoy this while we got it. All we worrying about is girls and how many points we gonna put up tonight. Everybody just looked at me like I was nuts. And I'm looking like, maybe I am nuts.
Yeah.
Looking back at that moment, I was absolutely right. But at the time, I let other people make me doubt my own vision. So now when I say something that I know won't land well, I just build up my strength and I say it anyway. And if it turns out that I am correct, you can never say nobody tried to tell you. Now,
boom! God damn, yo. Oh, that's what I fucking hate most is you fucking be that guy. You're like, well, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. And then when all that happens, people that it happened to are like, well, no one told me. No, motherfucker. You just didn't want to listen, you dipshit.
I'm an adult and this lone wolf is no longer alone. I got a pack on my own that I got to take care of. Still, before I was a dad and a husband, I was a friend, a bro, and my friends was bros to me. As men, these friendships are incredibly important because while you're born into your family, you get to choose your friends. And that choice of friends or lack thereof with family makes each of these bonds different from each other. Not better or worse. Let's not engage in dichotomous thinking where we have to debate who's the better player, LeBron or Jordan, Kobe or LeBron. Let's love and appreciate them both. They have similarities and they have differences.
Oh my God, you mean you don't have to fall into a one-track thought? Wait, so you're telling me that I don't have to be one or the other? You can have two fucking thoughts at the same time and appreciate two separate things without saying one has to be better than the other? What a fucking crazy idea. If only more people thought that way, Flem. If only more people thought that way. Isn't that fucking wild?
Some are better for certain situations, some are better for others. We can learn from the strengths and the weaknesses of each, and then learn which is better to deploy at which time. When a friend gives you something, there's a different level of gratitude. Fair or unfair, there's a little bit of entitlement wrapped up with family. But with a friend, they could say no and go their separate ways, never see you in life again. And there's no bloodline tying y'all together. You ain't gonna see him at the family reunion.
They just
Your
gone.
auntie ain't gonna ask about him.
Like
you
a
ain't gonna go to
fucking
hang
fart
out
in the
with
wind,
one
dude.
cousin and they over there. There's nothing bonding y'all together.
You up and disappeared like a fucking fart in the wind. What say there, fuzzy britches?
So every
Points if
time
you know
a
what that's
friend
from.
choose you, it's something about that just hits much harder. When you sacrifice something for a friend, the real friends will never forget that for the rest of their life. And they might not be able to pay you back right now, but 7 years from now, when you down on your luck and you feel like you sinking into the very earth itself, those type of friends will be there to.
I got friends like that, and what's crazy is they just come out of absolutely nowhere, dude. I can't tell you how, like, some days I'll just be having like a dog shit, series of days or whatever. I'm just getting kind of pissed off, and like maybe it's the fact that my buddy Ryan also has become Christ pilled, dude, and there's some divine intervention there. But like, it's crazy, dude. Some days I'll just be like having a shitbox day, and my buddy Ryan will just fucking text me completely out of the blue, dude. And like, I don't know, man, it just fucking means a lot to me, dude, that like I still have some friends. The older I get, the less and less friends I actually have, but the ones that are still there, dude, y'all are. It's crazy. It's crazy, like how just like sometimes they just pop up at the exact right time, dude.
To reach out a hand. They done got themselves together now and they can pull you up the same exact way you once did for them. A brotherhood forged in fire under heat and pressure strengthens and shapes it into something that's long lasting. So when put to the test, its resilience will show. If you have a friend or multiple friends like this, when the notification goes off from that group chat, I know that you busy. I know deadlines are on your ass. Bills are due.
I don't do group chat stuff though. I ain't gonna lie. I don't like group chats.
When you struggling trying to stay above water. I know nobody on this planet can keep your family sustained other than you. I know that weight is heavy and I know that shit is hard, but get your ass in the chat and have a
That's awesome. Chase, I do miss that too, bro. Mr. Detroit City man, I quit my career, moved to help my dad run his business, went 100% in on faith, not looking back, not sure what the future holds, but I'll be all right with God on my side. Yeah, he's a real powerful ally to have, dude, and like, I know it's crazy, but I just try and tell people, man, give him a chance, dude. Just give it a chance. Don't give it this fairy tale bullshit, Oh, I asked for this and it didn't happen, so it can't be. I said this and I didn't get smited down. It can't be. Just give it a chance, I try and tell people, like, he's a busy motherfucker up there. He's got a lot more going on than what you're dealing with. Motherfucker's got you and a billion other people as well as an entire universe to fucking run. Some bitch is busy up there, right? He's just a busy guy. But he's always there, man.
Laugh with the fellas. These little exchanges help maintain bonds that you built. So when you see each other, it feels like you're all little kids again. We need that as men. And if we don't have it, we all transform into greedy ass artificial intelligence. Earlier I mentioned that when I was young, I expressed maybe 10% of what I was really feeling. But the older I get, the less I fear being judged. So if it's on my mind, I'm gonna find some way to express it. I'll be honest, yes, I think it's kind of weird that I woke up, lit up, and then looked up at this picture, opened a blank page next to it, and wrote whatever the hell.
I ain't gonna lie, Jamar Chase's boots look hella uncomfortable. Where the fuck? What are they? Slip-on boots? Slip-on what? Was it a 6-inch heel right there? Slip-on 6 inches? I don't know about that, man. I don't like. I don't mind pull-on boots, but I need to have a higher ankle on them and not. I mean, is that how it's trimmed, or is it just that loose up on? I just don't like those boots.
This is. But after taking the scenic route through my own thoughts, I've come to a conclusion that helps me understand why this picture ended up being my muse today. I just think true brotherhood is rare these days, and those of us who have it should know how fortunate we are. As we grow, life will often take us on paths that are totally different from the path of our friends. This is when you figure out whether or not you chose your friends well or chose them poorly, because real friends will miss you, but they'll still encourage you to follow your own path and become the man that they already know you can become.
I've had friends like that. I've had friends that I put the wrong amount of value or wrong amount of time into, and when it came back around to it, they didn't fucking care, dude. You know what I mean? If anything, they were trying to hold you back because maybe deep down they knew that you could fucking do it, and they just didn't want you to outkick them. You know what I mean? Get farther ahead than them. And then I've got other friends who fucking support the shit out of what I do, like absolutely regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. I never ever, when I started doing YouTube, specifically started doing football content, I never would have thought that Chase would be as active in my community and watch the content the way he does. Mostly because, I mean, we're not we're friends, but we don't have, football isn't really a common interest per se. I've never really heard him talk about it. He's more of into the gaming sphere. It's all stuff that I enjoy, but the fact that we're able to connect and unite over this shit after years of not being able or not talking or seeing each other. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy the way this stuff kind of shakes out. Him, my buddy John has been one of the biggest fucking supporters of my channel since the beginning, and sometimes, dude, some of you guys just come out of absolutely fucking nowhere, and it just blows my fucking mind, and I cannot tell you how much I absolutely appreciate our friendship. Not the support, not fucking subscribing and watching, but just the fucking friendship that some of you guys have shown me out of absolutely nowhere. And some days I don't think I'm very fucking deserving of it because I'm kind of a piece of shit, but y'all are just too good of fucking people, man. You're just such good goddamn people that you refuse to let me be a huge fucking piece of shit, you damn good people. Damn it. You good motherfuckers pulling me up to your level, making me not be a fucking dirtbag.
They seen
I fucking really appreciate you guys.
it in you a long time ago, and they would be more upset if you sat there and didn't pursue and didn't go after your dreams and your goals. They know what you want because your ass couldn't shut up about it. So when they see you doing it, even though they wish you had more time to chill, they'll still encourage you because they know you're doing.
I love sports, love Detroit, but God is number one. Bet, dude. Can't do anything without him, man. Mr. Detroit City just fucking coming in with the heavy bangers today, dude.
What you gotta do. And when you get a break or get to another stage in life, they'll still be there to have a couple drinks and shoot the shit. If you a real friend, then you will encourage your close friends to do the same. You'll all stay connected via technology until the day when your paths cross again. But if a situation arises that allows you to stay more closely connected with your bro and realistically achieve your true goals, then realize not everybody get that opportunity, and you should strongly consider making that happen. If you have goals that you're currently pursuing,
Okay, he's created a book. We're not gonna finish his plug though. If you liked what you've seen, go ahead and check out Flemlo Raps. Go subscribe to his channel. Check out his book. The dude does fucking really good work, man. I mean, content like this, all kinds of shit. I strongly recommend it. He's super inspirational. So, hey, I appreciate you guys hanging out. It is almost 11:30. Wow, we went way over our normal amount. Hey. Nothing wrong with that. And you know what, guys? How about we just go ahead and do today's mock draft tomorrow? How about we do a surprise Thursday stream, and we'll just do a quick mock draft tomorrow. Maybe a little bit later than 10 a.m. I do have tomorrow off, so we might fart around and get a good workout in, take a little bit more time in the gym. But, yeah, let's do a mock draft tomorrow. Let's just plan on meeting back here tomorrow for a little mock draft. So, guys, I appreciate hanging out and watching that Flemlo video with me there. I know today was a little bit kind of out in the weeds, a little bit more chitty-chatty, not so much analytical stuff. We are in the dredges of the off season, right? It is kind of a slow point, but we are plowing through. I want to give a shout out to I'm Chasing Chase, Mr. Detroit City, and Cody Till, all holding down the chat, all being MVPs today, all just spitting hot fire. You guys are all like Dylon, the best rapper alive. Do you know who the top three rappers are? Dylon, and Dylon. I spit hot fire, right? All right, guys. So I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this Wednesday morning. Try and have yourselves a good rest of the day. If you're watching this later on, enjoy your afternoon, evening, or have a wonderful start to your morning. I've been Hat and Beard. Until next time, bonga bonga, frig off.